You definitely want to do that when you're about to have a child or you find out you're pregnant. It's okay to just check into a women's mental health program, just so you're prepared, you get some education, review some things, and if you need to do more, then great, you have that resource there. But so often I find people suffering, it's 14 months postpartum, and they're like, I've been feeling this way this whole time. I just thought I would come in and see if there's something wrong with me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you've been suffering like this whole time. And it's not just the person who's suffering, the whole family's suffering, the baby's suffering. So I say reach out early, often, and yes, be kind to one another. This is a very common but treatable condition.
Mental health is health. That's the CAMH byline, and I think it's really important to remind yourself of that. And then I have an acronym, DRESS, which stands for diet. Mediterranean diet is one. R is reduce your stress. Exercise, your body and mind. Social support, Alyssa, and sleep. So all of those things we know can improve brain health.
I don't know if I'm going to throw a curveball at you, but we're sitting in this esteemed place, and I do want to talk about treatments. I mean, stigma is something that we've all kind of danced around a little bit, and I think even though we're slowly breaking away stigma for different things, especially as women, we carry a lot of guilt and a lot of shame about a lot of things. And I think there is still such a wall of silence for a lot of people who are suffering, and whether it's starting in those very earliest years through pregnancy and postpartum, and certainly through menopause, there's still a lot of silence around it. So what would you think, we are in this room, we're all pulling the same line here. We want to learn more and speak on it more, but what is really that harm when someone is not seeking care and we're still either self-stigmatizing or really getting crushed under the stigma in culture? I mean, what is the danger, and what do we still need to do to push through that?
Okay. So, Crystal, you raised it also about if, for example, in postpartum depression, there's effects on the family, right? So it's not necessarily just about yourself and your own vulnerability, because, for example, as we've discussed, if you have a mood disorder during adolescence, you are at higher risk, right, for that at later points in your life. So treating it early is really important for potentially reducing the vulnerability at other stages in life. But there's transgenerational effects also. So if, and speaking of mom guilt, sorry, I live it intensely. But if you have a mood disorder during the postpartum period, you are also influencing your infant. So that is important, and shaping their life trajectory in ways that you may not anticipate or want. So it's important to seek help if you need it, as early as possible.
Yeah, but I would add to that and just say that, just to even get more specific, so what types of things can happen from not getting treated during pregnancy or postpartum when you have a mood, anxiety disorder, or some other form of mental illness? Well, first, there's obstetrical complications. Often women are thinking, well, if I just make it through, if I just hold on, but there's risk to the baby in utero, to the fetus. There's risk for preterm birth, small for birth weight babies, and those two conditions themselves increase the risk of mortality for that child. So these are things we have to be thinking about. It's really about the mother and infant. Postpartum is similar. We're talking about a mom who is depressed or anxious increases the risk of cognitive, social, and emotional delays on that infant. And so it's so important to get the help that they need so that they can also have a healthy, developing child. And of course, no one intends to do that. It's not that these mothers don't love their children or aren't doing everything possible to keep their child safe. But there's just things that are happening because of the depression and the anxiety that increase those risk factors for the infant.